Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? You right?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. It's cardigan season, so I'm over the moon.
Yeah, I'm all
Got a
good.
full range of them now, which is great. I love autumn. Um, so I just thought we'd start this one off just kind of doing a little bit of a tail of the tape. So specifically talking about the influencer kind of lifestyle and how you're curating content for your many followers.
Mhm.
In Instagram, you're 8.4 thousand and TikTok 77.3. What was the original plan when you started on social media back in the day?
Mhm.
Did you ever have a MySpace account? I had a MySpace account, or am I just
I
showing
did.
my
I did.
complete age?
I,
Yeah.
I think I was a little bit too young though for MySpace, so won't say how much younger I am than you, Luke. But I started on Instagram because I had a baby and I thought I had the cutest baby in the world, like we all do. And I started taking pictures of him and working with small businesses, helping them with like their clothing and things like that. And I was like, wow, this is actually really fun. um Carried that on for about 2 to 3 years as a stay-at-home mum, just sort of posting. It wasn't really anything that was like, oh, I'm gonna really make this something. It was just something like I enjoyed doing.
And
I
what content did you enjoy doing specifically? Was it the content for your first child?
Well, it started with that. And then I was like, I want a little bit of this, like I want to start posting about myself. Like there is more to me than just my baby. And I've always kind of been the kind of person that has wanted to be on stage, wanted to be a singer, wanted to be an actor, that I've always loved that. It gives me a really big adrenaline rush. Like I love it. And so I thought, well, I'm going to start doing it myself. Started showing up on stories and talking and showing my face because it's so easy on Instagram just to post a photo and nobody's ever really going to know who you are. And I think once I started doing that, that's when you start getting the followers, you start getting the engagement because people want to see you. They want to see who you are, your character, how you talk. And that's when things really kind of started to take off. But slowly, Instagram was really, really slow. I wasn't really working with brands as such. And I actually didn't know much about that world, about working with brands. People started reaching out, wanting to give me things, gift me things. And yeah, that's kind of where it started with Instagram, really.
But did you have an idea of follower levels then? So if you can just kind of think back to those early days when it probably first started to blow up, what kind of follower numbers did you have on Instagram?
I mean, I had the standard like 150, mainly your best friends and family.
Mm.
Get to your first 1K and you're like, oh my God, I'm famous. I've made it. This is brilliant. Slowly chipped away, got to about 5K, which was brilliant. I was being more consistent, showing up every day, posting every day. I did start to find it really quite hard and quite consuming though, because I was a new mum
Mm.
and actually there's a lot you have to do. There is a lot of engagement. You're having to see what people are doing, what other people are doing, what's working, what's not working, taking the content. And when you've got a baby, some days you literally just can't even get out of bed. So I was actually starting to find it quite hard. And I think I got to probably about 6K and I was like, I need a break from this. I
Mm.
started to
Mm.
find it quite negative. The kind of things that I was seeing, the people that I was following, everything was so perfect. Like everybody looked amazing. And I was like, I just can't keep up with this. And I actually took a whole year off and I was like, I'm not going back. It's not good for my mental health. I unfollowed all of these accounts that I thought brought me things, but actually just made me feel worse about myself.
Yeah.
And I actually took a whole year off when I got to 6K. And I thought I wasn't ever going to come back.
When it comes to, I guess I'm quite intrigued as to, because obviously it's not just about posting stories and reels and all that kind of thing. It's the engagement, and I think it's the bit that people probably don't appreciate, that you've got to be engaging with people that engage with you. Did you have any kind of like you would like a certain number of other people's posts per day? Were you replying to all comments? Because you used to get we still do get a lot of comments on your content.
Mm.
How did that work? Did you have a set plan, or was it just just off the cuff?
Do you know, when you're first starting, you hear from so many people, oh, you've got to post at this time. Then you've got to give it half an hour of commenting on other people. So as soon as you post, you go and comment on other people's pictures so that then they see your comment, they go on your page, they're going to leave you a comment. There was this whole engage, your DMs. I actually think that replying to people in your direct messenger is actually more important than replying to people on comments, because they are the people that have actually taken their time to send you a private message. And because it is private, they're probably talking to you about something that they're not telling the whole world. They don't want to put on like a picture for everyone else to see. And those people that are private messaging you, they're the ones that are loyal to you. They're the ones that are going to follow you forever, wherever you go. So if you go to YouTube after that, if you go to TikTok after that, they're going to follow you. And those followers are the ones that will keep you going. So I was always like, I'm always going to get back to people in direct messenger if I can. It's hard. It is really hard. Commenting and liking, it can become quite obsessive, and you can spend an hour afterwards commenting, liking, engaging. And I found that I actually just lost, it wasn't authentic anymore. You were just kind of commenting to get a comment back, and that's what I didn't like. So I have, after that year off, I moved to TikTok, and I found the engagement and the algorithm completely different to Instagram. It was so much more authentic. And it was, TikTok is, to me, a whole different ball game to Instagram. I do try and keep up on my Instagram, not as much as I do on TikTok. I should be on it every single day. It is another platform that people do use, millions and millions of people. But I do find the way the algorithm works on each is completely different.
So when you talk about the algorithm for TikTok, and probably you've had this year off from Instagram, and it kind of I don't know, would you say it kind of reached a ceiling, or it kind of like, because the TikTok numbers are just like sky high, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I suppose it's one of those things. Can I just circle back slightly to what you personally get from Instagram? And I'm going to throw this out there because I'm not too sure. Not having those kind of numbers following me, I wouldn't know. But after a while, the likes, the liking getting a like, the liking getting a comment, the positive reinforcement is all well and good. It's fine. Did you kind of become a bit numb to it though? Because after a while, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you don't know these people. And so after a while, all these likes, did you still get the buzz of a like and a comment, or did it kind of peter out over time, more specifically on Instagram than anything else?
Yeah, this is exactly it. And that's the point where I got to, where like I said, the only reason I'm commenting with somebody else's is to get a comment back. And that was how the Instagram sort of world works, kind of thing. And that's where I was like, well, I'm only getting a like because I'm liking their things, kind of thing. And you're right, that's where it does just become, well, it kind of means nothing. And that's why the direct messages from people always meant so much more to me than these comments from strangers. And I've always been somebody that tries to always remember the people that have directly messaged me, have gone out of their way, because they're the people that make the magic happen and give you the drive and remind you why you are doing it. But I definitely did get to a place on Instagram where I was just posting just to posting a perfect picture, putting a filter on it, making everything look lovely, and trying to get engagement by engaging with other people.
Yeah. Was there a point before you switched over to TikTok that you thought, okay, I'm working with some brands, but ultimately, the cynical marketeer in me is always saying, okay, how can I monetize this? How can I turn this into something that could be a revenue generator? And was it a point where you thought, do you know what, Instagram, for everything you've outlined before, mental health, not getting the kind of the buzz from the engagement, but was there a moment where you're like, this isn't going to be the platform that's going to make me go like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, working at it for like 3 years, and I would literally, I'd head out to my local town. I'd bring my friend with her camera. I'd have Ted in the buggy, probably screaming, trying to get these photos, posting them, and the amount of effort that goes into it. And I know, being on social media, you do get some stick for it's not a real job, or what do you really do? You just take a photo and you post it. There's so much more that goes on in the background.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was getting sent all of these clothes, which would blew my mind at first. But when you're working so hard and putting so much into it, and you're like, what am I getting back? I was like, well, nothing. And I never did it for the money, but the effort that you put into working with these brands and, not moving forward with it, and for as hard as I worked on there for the good solid 3 years that I did, I was like, I'm not getting anywhere with it anymore.
So then you discovered TikTok, and did you go into TikTok thinking this can be a continuation of the Instagram journey, or were you just like, I'm going to give it a go?
So I started working for a small business who was on TikTok. I actually didn't even have TikTok before I started working for this small business. And I was like, whoa, this is insane, because I went so anti-social media that I didn't want to be on anything at all. And I was like, I don't want to go back into that world. It became quite negative for me. It actually ended up bringing me down. But what I was seeing on TikTok was a lot more real people, and people just filming in their living room. Nothing, the houses didn't have to be perfect. The filming didn't have to be perfect. I finally found like really relatable people, and that's what I loved, and that's what I loved doing on Instagram, was being somebody who was relatable and talking about things that people can go, oh my god, that's me. And when I started doing TikTok, started talking about those things, which took a lot of confidence, really, because you're being really vulnerable. Like some of the subjects I spoke about at the beginning, things like wanting to go to work after being a stay-at-home mum, not enjoying certain things with my children, like talking about things that you can get some negative comments about. Those first few videos within the first month of me doing TikTok just went insane, because you are reaching these people that feel the same as you. And yeah, it just blew up. I think I reached 10K within sort of 2 months, and I'd worked on Instagram for 3 years and still not even at 10K now. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I love this. I'm talking about things, people are relating to me, and I'm an oversharer anyway. And the reason why I overshare is because I love it when somebody comes to me and says, oh my God, me too. Like that happened to me as well. When somebody says that to me, that helps me so much. Like that's almost like a therapy to me. So I'm an oversharer because I always want somebody to kind of go, I'm the same. And the moment somebody says I'm the same, I always feel so much better. And being a first-time mum, there were so many things that I hadn't spoken to people about, or thought it was just me. And when I went on TikTok and was like, do you know what? I'm just going to say it to these people. When you have thousands of people say me too, you're helping so many people at the same time. And every single comment that person's commenting on with this other person, you're almost having this amazing conversation, and authentic and real conversation between all these people. And I was like, yes, this is what I'm here for. This is what I love. This was the buzz again that I wanted. And I've just kept it up, kept going. Can't believe I've got where I'm at right now. From the beginning to now, my content's completely different, as in, how I edit, how confident I am in front of the camera. I have grown massively. And yeah, I'm at this amazing place where I'm like, this isn't just about posting a perfect video or photo and saying, oh my God, look at me. This is going onto a platform and talking to normal people that are exactly the same as me and just connecting. And it just feels amazing.
Have you ever had the instance where you meet people in real life that have followed you on social media, and of course they feel like they know you, and
Yes.
you're.
So
Does that happen that often in the little town that
yes,
we live in?
yeah, recently, in literally the last 2 weeks, I think I've probably met 10 people that have been like, oh,
Wow.
Southerly, oh my God, I follow you, you're amazing. And like, I'm like, oh my God, stop. I was like, no, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of my followers are local to me, which is awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. And they see where I go most days, which is the coffee shop pretty much every morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are pulling me. And young girls, I had a couple of really young girls approach me not long ago. And I was like, wow, this is really, really important to me, because if I was at their age and followed somebody like me and spoke about the things that I speak about, it would have seriously, seriously helped me. So it made
Hmm.
me just go, do you know what, Southerly, you really are doing something. And I've got followers that are, 16 all the way up until like 40s, 50s, which I love. And everything that I'm doing is relating to people.
I think that's it. Most people that I speak to about your content always say it's relatable. It's so
Mm.
relatable. Do you spend a lot of time looking at your analytics as far as looking at what content gets a particularly maybe a jump in followers or higher engagement than others? Do you spend a lot of time on that?
I did, and you can get completely absorbed into it and obsessed with it. But what I've worked out is just it's I've grown. I'm really proud of my journey. Like, I started on 200 views and I was like, it's 200 views, like then you get
Hmm.
to 1,000 views, 2,000 views, 3,000 views, and it can still go really, really up and down now. And there is this thing where you can upload a video and it will do really bad. But actually, like, I've learned to just, hey, move on, make another video, keep going. Like, even if that one video that didn't do as well as the others, if that is connected to maybe 5 people and really made a massive difference, then I've done I've done what I want to do. But I do have a look at what does well, and I kind of try and recreate that. So I do a lot, like, people love the same thing. That's what I've realized. People like, and I love the same thing. I actually look more at what I like. So what do I like following? Who do I like following? Why do I like following them? And I watch people that clean their house, they talk, they get ready with me, they put their makeup on, and every single time I watch it, I keep watching, even though they're pretty much doing the same thing. And I always thought, no, I've got to change it every single day. I've got to change the video. I've got to mix it up. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. When actually people just like going on your account and seeing what you've got up to that day. And if you've got something, like, I've hit quite a sweet spot at the moment where I'm kind of filming myself, walking, doing this, cleaning this, I'm doing voiceovers. People are telling me in the comments what they're liking, they're loving the voiceovers. They love the sound of my voice. And I'm like, right, okay, you love that. Well, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to
Mm.
recycle it, kind of thing. And it works.
Did you find that because you've had a significant event this year, well, two, if you count the birthday that you turned. I don't know whether you
Yeah.
want to say that out loud. But so with the wedding, you had a lot of content. Was that, you mentioned before about taking people on a journey? Did you find that number one, enjoyable to be posting about, even though it
Mhm.
can be quite a stressful time for some people?
Yeah.
And number two, did you see a kind of a reaction in your audience and or brands that wanted to work with you because of the fact that you were getting married?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself with the wedding content, because it was probably the most stressful time of my whole entire life. And yeah, filming videos at the same time as getting married, I was like, what's more important right now? Filming content or my wedding day, which was so amazing, and it was more important for me to just get my head down and marry the man that I love, rather than getting the views on TikTok, of course. but I did manage to do bits. And I think what happens when you let people into these massive life events, they really feel connected to you. And that's when they really feel like they know you. And that's when people love you. Like, oh, I saw her wedding, or we've seen the bridesmaid dresses, or we've seen her dress, we've seen the photos. That's actually quite a private thing. And when you let people into that, they really feel like they know you. And they do know you, and I let people know quite a lot about me. I really do. But there is a private life that I keep to myself, and that's really, really important to me. But the love I get on TikTok, and the support I get on TikTok, and the people that talk to me, like, I want to show them, I want to tell them. It's a moment that I'm proud of. That the moment you do let people into those private moments, you will see a spike in things.
And how did it work with? Did you notice any brands that wanted to get in touch with you? Any wedding or marriage related brands?
Yeah, I did. And I'm never somebody who will go out my way to try and get something because I'm getting married. Oh, well, can they give me this? Can I have this for free? All of these things.
Yeah.
But there was one thing which was amazing, which happened to me. I planned to do my own flowers, which why I ever did, I don't know, because I'm not that kind of person that can do that. And I had a local florist called Lily B. She's absolutely amazing. I will just plug her because she's unreal. And her sort of friend reached out to me and was like, hey, like, we know you're feeling overwhelmed with doing the flowers, and we want to help you, and we want to sort of do the flowers for you. And I was like, oh my God. But again, that kind of working like that with each other was because I've connected with them, and they want to help me, kind of thing. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was so unbelievably grateful. But with any other brand, so I do have management now, so they kind of deal with the brands for me, which has been so helpful for me because I can't manage a brand deal to save my life, to be honest. And I actually don't know enough about brand deals and how they work, and contracts and all of those things to do it on my own. So I've got management now that do help me.
That's great, and I guess it's a bit of an awkward taboo, maybe. But the situation with Catherine Tilsdale, the Coronation Street actress, where her PR team, and this is probably what difference between a brand management team and a PR team, perhaps, is that they'd reached out to a local, I think it was a cake shop or something, and I think a lot of it was the crude nature of the request, because it wasn't a request. It was, hey, if you come and do X for this big birthday, you'll get coverage. We'll mention you in this, and this, and this. But of course, it was no payment. And the woman wrote back, and I personally, my view is that I think she was quite clever in the way that she publicised her response, because let's face it, it could have been quite a good thing for her for her business. But I think she looked at it and went, you know what, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm going to expose this type of thing. The whole thing of emojis won't pay my mortgage. I loved that. I did like it, but you can't help but feel as though it was kind of a cynical ploy on her part to kind of one up the Catherine, and I think whoever was advising Catherine Tilsdale with her response was kind of awful either. But I guess that's the I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when you see that happen, that's where influencers get a bad rap, don't they? Because they're asking for things for free, whereas your approach, as you've detailed with Lily B, was completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do believe that, like, influencers can blow up businesses more than any other way. We had the small business I used to work for. We had Stacey Solomon wear the bracelet on her wedding day, and overnight it went insane. And but I do understand small businesses thinking that these influencers, they essentially have enough money as it is. Why do you need to get free stuff, kind of thing? And I would never work with a brand if I didn't value them already, know them already, and know that I could 100% bring them something. Do you know what I mean? Like, and because right now, to me, I find it insane that brands want to work with me anyway. I'm like, are you sure? Really? Oh my God, me? But influencing does work, and it does help businesses, it does help brands, but 100% there is a way to go about it. And I didn't start this TikTok and Instagram, I didn't really even start it to make money, like that actually wasn't really the goal. And I think when influencers start getting ads and they start getting sort of these collaborations, your followers do kind of think, what's happening here, and whenever you do post an ad, it will get significantly lower views, lower comments, because I think there is a lot of stigma around influencers doing brand deals and working with brands. But essentially, it is work, and you don't get paid sort of any other way else when you're an influencer. So, and I think it can really blow up a business, and I think it can be sometimes the best thing a business can do.
I totally agree. And whether, from a marketing perspective, given that's what we do here at Halo, you, regardless of whatever the avenue is, your number one priority or objective for your client or for yourself is to either raise awareness, generate leads, or bring eyes on your product. And if one of the ways to do that, because everything evolves, everything changes, one of the ways to do it is to work with an influencer. And I completely agree with you. You've got to choose the right one. Number one, you'll probably look at follower numbers. Cynical, I know. But number two, then you look at the personality of the person and go, do you know what? They are perfect for our brand.
Yeah.
And if that does what your objective is, who cares if it's an influencer, an ad campaign, a billboard campaign? Because we've seen this massive transition to digital marketing being kind of the most popular thing going. And for me, I'd rather put a client's money with an influencer to promote a brand than doing a billboard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And plus you've got tracking data. You know exactly where everything's come from. So
yeah,
I guess so. It's a fascinating story. And I could probably ask you about a million questions. But I'm just conscious of time. And so I think kind of what I wanted to end with was kind of what your end goals are from the perspective of not necessarily follower numbers, or you might like to share that with us, but who do you want to be working with? Is there an international plan here? I mean, we'd all love a free holiday.
Do you know, I would love to bring out a collection with a brand, a big brand. That would be the absolute dream. I love fashion, and I have that on my Instagram and my TikTok. But the end sort of vision and goal for me would be actually to have my own brand. And I know that's really like stereotypical, and but I have so much passion for it that I don't just want to sell for somebody else. I want to create something, and I think I could, and I think I can, and the 5-year plan, I've said 5 years, would be at the end of it to have my own brand, to have it on TikTok, and I think definitely that's the end goal. I would love 1 million followers. I mean, that would be unreal. But right now, where I am, I'm still absolutely loving it, whether I had 1 million followers or the 77 that I have right now. But the end goal, 100%, I want to start working with bigger brands. I want to go to London. I want to go to their head offices. I want to be on photo shoots. I want to be on their pages. And then the end goal, hopefully, of all the experience that I've gained, bring out my own brand, 100%.
Brilliant. I'm just going to throw one final one in.
Yeah.
Are there any influencers out there that you particularly admire what they've achieved? And I'll throw in Kim Kardashian. Yeah. And I'll do that because I'm watching the documentary with the House of Kardashians or something. And actually, you've got to admire that the business sense on what they've actually achieved. I mean, the money is crazy, billions. But actually, the way it's happened, and let's not start with the original thing that happened.
Yeah.
But but from as far as building a brand and monetizing a brand. I'm really impressed with that. So it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to know what you thought.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's weird you say that because it was literally last week that I put on there, what is it? Something Kardashians will keep, I don't know what it is. And I saw her, you know, flying here, there, and everywhere. She's at fashion shows. She's directing. She was with Dolce and Gabbana. She was telling them what she likes, what she doesn't like. And I think it's so easy just to look at somebody like her and say, well, she just looks pretty and she takes good photos and that's what sells. There's so much work that she does in the background. Another person I love is Molly May. Really love her. She came out of Love Island, and you know, so many of them come out of Love Island. She didn't even win it, and I don't think she did anyway. And she was an influencer before, and she just took it by the horns, and she worked really hard, and now she's up there. Like she's one of the, I think she like is the biggest UK influencer or something like that.
Wow.
And I think she's absolutely amazing. And what I love about her again is she's real and she's authentic and she shows up and she has no makeup on. She has a baby. She talks about real things. And I think that's her as a brand. And that's what really influences me. That's what I love is I just want to stay real, but also show up and work hard and hopefully get to somewhere like she has.
Oh, I can, that's a perfect way to finish. That's a great line. So I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. And I'll catch up with you soon.
Will do. Thanks, Luke.
Probably
Bye.
this weekend. Take care. Bye.
Bye.